To all those above me that watch over me, to all of you, my fave parapeeps on this side of the veil, welcome. This is the Paranormal Ministry. I'm your host, Shawn Whittington. I'm a seminarian in the United States Old Catholic Church, and I'm coming to you live from my haunted house, my very haunted house, where I live. Been quiet today. Yeah, Dreamcatcher's not swinging around. Been quiet today. You never know with my guest today. That may change. She's quite gifted and might bring a little bit of paranormal baggage with her. And that's why you all tuned in. So I'll bring her on as quick as I can. I'm lucky to even be here. Last night, this funky crud came on me like gangbusters in the middle of the night, like a really bad cold or flu or I don't know what. Not COVID, but God forbid. I hope not COVID. But then I had such a bad coughing spell this morning. I didn't know if tonight's show was going to go on. I was just going to call my guest and say, listen, why don't you host the show and interview yourself? We'll see how that goes. But I'm here. So if I end up going into this uncontrollable coughing fit, um, I'll have Zach jump in there and finish the interview with my very special guest tonight. Let's check the prayer urn. Henry R. from Alaska. How cool is that? I can't remember the last time I had somebody from Alaska send me a message in. I'm old. Aren't we all, brother? I'm old and ill. Oh, I'm sorry, Henry. And I'm miles away from the nearest church. Can you baptize me on the show? I'm Christian. Henry, not only can I not remember the last time anybody reached out to me from Alaska, but I don't think I've ever baptized anybody on air before. But this is a great request, and I most certainly will. And if anybody out there is feeling this, really feeling this, and wants to be baptized on the air too, when I start for Henry, just touch the computer screen, make the sign of the cross, touch the computer screen, bow your head as I'm asking the questions, and you can answer them. And he says here, P.S. More balloons on the way. I get it. I don't know who else gets it. We've got all those supposed Chinese weather balloons coming over from Alaska way into our country. And I'm glad you have a good sense of humor, Henry. We need that more. So let's do that. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Do you reject Satan and all his works and all his empty promises? Do you believe in God, the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth? Do you believe in Jesus Christ, his only Son, our Lord, who was born of the Virgin Mary, was crucified, died, and was buried, rose from the dead, and is now seated at the right hand of the Father? Do you believe in the Holy Spirit, the Holy Catholic Church, the communion of saints, the forgiveness of sins, and the resurrection of the body and life everlasting? May the fire of the Holy Spirit descend upon us all and take this Son of God back, Henry. As St. John the Baptist baptized our Lord Jesus Christ, by the authority given me by God, I baptize you, Henry. God bless you, brother. That was cool. That was very cool. Henry, keep me posted. Get to a church, get a priest to lay some hands on you, get blessed by the holy water, and then have him bless you by fire also, which is just another term for being blessed by the Holy Spirit. Do that when you get a chance. I know you're ill and far away from the nearest church, but do that for me and then keep me posted. But thank you very much for that request. That made my night, brother. Okay, let's check the mailbag. More balloons on the way. That was a good one. Gloria G. from Washington. No, Washington State. No one believes me that I saw a Bigfoot dumpster diving behind a store here in my town. It's going to be one of those nights, guys. Washington State. Well, you're in a hot spot for Bigfoot activity. Had eye-to-eye contact with it. It has followed me home and is on my property. Should I feed it? Okay, here we go. He's not a bear, so you know the old saying, do not feed the bear. Don't feed the bears. I think set up some trap cameras. Go to the nearest sporting goods store, camping accessory store, get a couple of cheap trap cameras, mount them in your on your property to try and catch film footage. But I would feed them. Why not? He probably has a family with him. I would feed them. I don't believe they're dangerous. Don't do any provoking. But I would feed them. Would you do me a big favor, Gloria? Would you keep me posted on your if you capture this thing on camera, I want to bring you on here on the show and have you talk to everybody about your experiences. And yes, I'm a big believer in Bigfoot. So that is so cool. Please keep me posted on how that goes with you and Biggie. Okay, if there's anything you want to know about my wife and I and our ministry work, go to our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. When you go there to visit, remember my wife and I don't charge for our ministry work, helping people with their paranormal issues. So I know times are tough, brothers and sisters, but if you notice the donate button and you're able to do so, click on it and send my ministry in a small donation. I promise you it'll be appreciated from the bottom of our hearts, and trust me, we'll put it to good use. I'm also a certified spiritual advisor. So if you're having issues of a spiritual nature not attached to the paranormal, there's a place on the website where you can make an appointment to speak with me. But don't leave the website without navigating over to the page called the WSE course/book. On that page, you'll see the ghost store. Lots of cool things to buy in there if you go for that sort of thing. And everything you buy on there, proceeds go to a lot of things that I support. But scroll down past the ghost store and you'll see my new haunted autobiography, God, Ghosts, and the Paranormal Ministry. And I quote, scariest book I ever published. That was Annette Munich, owner of Stellium Books, my publisher. But don't let that scare you off of purchasing a copy. If you haven't done your good deed for the day yet, part of the proceeds of every sale of every copy of my book goes to support stjude.org, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, Nevada, and the ASPCA. So, how cool is that? You get to help some of the neediest children on the planet, along with the animals, too. That's cool, and that's a no brainer. You can get the book a little less expensive at Amazon. You can also get it off the website, and it comes from my office here. I sign it, and it arrives in a house blessing kit, which is also very cool. So there you have it. And it's a great time to get the first book and get all caught up because God, Ghosts, and the Paranormal Ministry 2, Chronicles of an American Exorcist, comes out this coming October. So it's a great time to get the first one before you're going to rush right out in October and get the second one. Scroll a little further down, you'll see on that page, you'll see the Worldwide Society of Exorcists, which I'm a founding member. I offer a 12-week online college-level course, Introduction to Spiritual Warfare, through the WSE. And this is a course for all you true warriors for Christ out there that feel a calling and a longing to want to have more knowledge when it comes to drawing your line in the sand, making a stand, circling the wagons, and putting up a good fight against, God forbid, true evil. If that ever comes calling, that's the course for you. You can enroll in the course there at the website. If you want more information on the course before making that type of commitment, there's a Worldwide Society of Exorcists Facebook page, or just call me, send me a message, reach out to me. I'm approachable, I'm easy to get a hold of, and we can talk about if the course is right for you or not. Most importantly, please keep all of my former, current, and future students in your prayers. And all my students that graduate get a stunning diploma, certificate of completion, suited for framing, along with some other very blessed items that you can only get from yours truly. Okay, the moment that you've all tuned in for. First time on the show. I'm excited to meet her. I'm excited to have her here. I hope she has fun so she'll want to come back. Some of you have already sent in questions for me to ask her. Psychic, medium, paranormal investigator, candle maker, which I think is so cool. radio personality, has her own show and a new one coming up that we'll talk about. Brothers and sisters, please give a warm Paranormal Ministry family welcome to Anna Marguerite.
Hi, everybody.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
God bless you for showing up. Thank
Oh,
you.
you're so welcome.
Listen, I didn't say the very last name because I didn't want to butcher it, but you have three names here. Is the last one pronounced Branty Marty?
Close, Brandamart.
Brandemart.
It's
Anna
okay. A lot of
Marguerite
people have a hard
Brandemart.
time. Yeah, it's quite okay. A lot of people have a hard time saying the last name.
Well, you look very pretty tonight, and I told you in
Thank
the
you.
green room before we started there was only one rule for you to have fun because I'm going to want you to come back.
Of
Um,
course.
so listen, this is something you probably didn't expect me to ask off the bat, but I'm going to ask it because I have a personal reason why. Talk to me about candle making. You have two Facebook pages that talk about your candles. You do beautiful work. Years
Thank
ago,
you.
I thought I was going to be the next great candle maker. I was going to send out candles that smelled like all of the different types of blessed incenses, and
Mhm.
I was going to have in the wax, I was going to have holy water and blessed salts in there, and I was going to have them in these really cool old world Christian looking containers. I was terrible at making candles. So you've got to share for all of the wannabe candle makers out there or people that are thinking about doing that. Talk to us about how you even started doing that and how you're so good at it.
Thank you. It I got into it because I felt like it was a calling for me. I know that sounds kind of strange, but I kind of go to what I'm interested in. And ever since I got into it, I just enjoy making candles. Is something that I enjoy doing, and it takes practice. I wasn't always good at it at first. Believe me, it took a lot of patience that I did not have. So, but if you're really into something like this, if you have a passion for it, definitely do it. But if you don't do it. That's my advice because candle making can be very, very expensive and you got to really know the steps on what you're doing and also the energy that you're putting into the candle for that person.
You know what? You and I think, are already a little psychically connected here because that's the next question I was going to ask you. I remembered I used to do things like I would carve prayers or sayings or blessings
Mhm.
on the wax of the candles. I would also do, sometimes I would ask a person's intention. What would you like to accomplish with the burning and the praying over of this lit candle? And they would tell me. I would write that down on a piece of paper and I would seal that under the candle in the container.
Mhm.
They would never see it again, but they would know it was always under there. I know you're also a witch. I don't
Mhm.
judge. I welcome everybody here, all faiths and religious belief systems and all of that. The
I
only time I
appreciate it.
tend to get a little weird is when I know someone's like perverting something,
Mhm.
doing something a little darker with their gift, which I know you don't.
No, not at
Um,
all. I stay
Talk to
away
me
from it.
about that, the whole intention behind certain candles and how that came to be.
Uh, well, as of right now, I put a lot of attention into candles and what I want in them, but I wait until what the person wants, not what I want, because the candle is meant to be for the person and what they want in it. Because if you put it from yourself, you're putting all your energy into that candle for that person, then it's not going to do anything. So you want all that energy for that person to tell you what to put in it. So this way it's meant for them, not for you. So this way you're putting their intentions in it and not yours.
Very, very cool. You have to
Thank
tell
you.
people um, where. I know you have at least one Facebook that's just all the candles,
Yeah.
and when you talk about it on another one, tell people what those pages are and how they can go about having you. You know, some people just want to buy what they see, but I know some people may want to reach out to you and have you do something custom for them. How can they do that?
You can go on the Spill Candle Shop. I do have another page, but I'm not on that one anymore. So I'm basically on the main one is the Spill Candle Shop. You can email me, you can call me, text me, go through Facebook message. And if you have a specific candle that you want, it doesn't have to do with Wicca. I'm there for everybody, even with paranormal. So the new thing now with paranormal, I'm trying to bring paranormal candles that has to do with keeping negative spirits away. And a lot of people have been liking that idea. So you can still want a spell candle if you want a Pacific. Just let me know. It does take a couple of days to make, and I will ship out. Shipping is not a problem. So if you have something in mind and something Pacific, I'd be more than happy to do that for you. Just go through that page and send me a message.
You'll get this. Some people may go, huh? You'll get this.
Yeah,
There
I
is a
know.
lot, yeah, there's a lot of power behind the intention of the fire, especially
Mm-hmm.
in the candle. And that's why I have a room behind me here that's there's probably 30 candles actually lit in there right now. People write me and they say, "This is happening to me in my life. Would you light a candle for me?" And there's a lot of power behind lighting that candle, the intention that you put in it, the prayers that you put over it, and you're offering that flame up to the
Right.
spirits.
Yes.
And it's there's a lot of power behind that. So I think that's great. Candles to ward off evil spirits because there's a lot of people in your field that don't, it's not that they conjure up evil spirits, but there's so many people that need help right now out there because
Yeah.
they said the wrong thing, they did the wrong thing, they were at the wrong place at the wrong time, and they didn't mean to attract the attention of some darker vibrational malevolent entity that is now attached to them.
Right.
And then they need somebody like you or I to help
Mm-hmm.
them.
Yes.
Um, and a lot of people uh, don't know how to help. So these people tend to feel a little lost. But I
Yeah.
think that's very, very cool. Having said that, this is probably another weird question that you probably didn't expect me to ask you.
That's okay.
Um, I'm going to ask you about Bigfoot. I can't stop thinking about this lady who saw Bigfoot, a dumpster diving behind a store. She's in Washington State, huge
Okay.
Bigfoot area. I believe in Bigfoot.
I do too.
What do you think? My advice to the lady was, yeah, set up some trap cameras because if you can get it on film, that would be great. People won't think you're
Mhm.
crazy. Um,
Exactly.
I maybe my advice was bad about the go ahead and feed them. If you got this note, what would you say to this woman if Gloria from Washington had sent you a note and said, I've seen this Bigfoot and a dumpster diving behind. I think that's awesome to see. Why wouldn't a Bigfoot dumpster dive behind a store, especially if it's a restaurant or a market? Of course they would.
Right. Yeah.
Um, I had eye contact with it. He sensed something uh, to him or her, probably something
Mhm.
magical about this person's spirit. It
Right.
and it maybe it's there's he or she is by itself. Maybe it's got a family, but there's a reason why it followed her home and it's on her property. What do you think about my advice to go ahead and feed it?
Um, I to be honest with you, I haven't run to somebody to talk about Bigfoot. Hopefully soon. Um, but you know what? I don't know
What
how to.
would you do? What would you do? Because you would obviously know. There's a reason why you got followed home. You of all people. What would you do?
I would be freaked out and not bother with it. I mean, I would try to maybe capture it on camera to say, "Hey, listen, look at my evidence," but it's dark, it's big. Yeah, you think it's Bigfoot, but you just don't know what it is the problem. You can't really see what's actually there to be like, you feel comfortable to, okay, let's go feed it. But what happens if you feed it and then bite your hand off? You know what I'm saying?
Or
So
take
you
your
gotta
arm off.
right. So you
Or
gotta
abduct
really
you
be
and take
really
you up to
think.
its cave and try to
Yeah,
have Bigfoot human hybrids babies with you. You know,
yeah.
that wouldn't be good.
I would truly think twice before in going into something like that. I know it's exciting, but being careful because you just never know, and then you're going to have oh crap moment. So just look out for yourself first before you think, oh, let's investigate this. This is great. No, think before you do that because this way you don't get attacked or hurt or anything of the sort.
Yeah, I think the reason why I gave her that advice was the story reminded me of this farmer that I know back east,
Mhm.
and he claims he has a family of them on his property, and
Right.
he goes to he takes his truck to the nearest, I think, butcher yard where
Mm-hmm.
there's tons of carcasses and scraps left over at the end of the day, and he's got an arrangement with the owner, and they were childhood buddies forever. He loads his truck up with all of this meat that they're going to throw out anyhow, and he takes it out, loads it up on his tractor, drives it out to his in an area of his farm, and he
Mm-hmm.
dumps all the stuff out there. And
Right.
then I don't know if he's actually witnesses them eating and has never thought to film it, but he says when he goes back, all of it's gone. Well, of course, anything could have taken it,
Yeah.
other wild animals and stuff. But he swears it's a family that they come and they eat all that stuff that he puts out there. And says he sees the little ones, so that's why he started putting the food out there. He felt bad for the little ones. But I do you think there's ever going to be? You're gifted enough to have maybe uh, source energy, source knowledge to answer this question for you. What do you think we're ever going to have disclosure, true disclosure with this, and the discovery will be out there, and everybody will know 100% for sure that he exists?
Uh, in my heart, with everybody's evidence, whatever they have, I really truly believe somebody out there one day will have that evidence to prove that there is Bigfoot. You know, if we can prove that there's UFOs and aliens, I believe that we can prove that there will be a Bigfoot. I mean, it's been long enough, and why not? I mean, it is supernatural, and I do believe that hopefully one day we will capture something. I mean, people have gotten footprints and, certain things that just a little bit of evidence, it proves that it could be a possibility that Bigfoot is out there. You just have to be there at the right time to capture it.
Well said.
Thank you.
Okay, let's. The reason why people tune in, they don't tune in for me. They tune in for my guests, and then everybody,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, wants to know the story, the
Mm-hmm.
person's story. What little bit I was able to read about you on your Facebook pages, I find very interesting.
Thank
And you
you.
made a comment that you had your psychic awakening a little later in life. You look back now and you realize you've always had it, but you really recognized it and it came on stronger as you got older, which usually is the opposite for most
Right.
people. So I don't think a day goes by where I don't have somebody reach out to me and either tell me I feel that I'm psychically gifted and it scares me to death. Should I is
Mm-hmm.
if it scares me, should I is it better for me to just turn it off and not pay attention to it or learn more about it so I can control it? And then I have people that reach out to me that know that they are um, and they do want to enhance their gift, but they don't know how. So first, you've got the rest of the show if you need it. Don't worry about me.
Right.
Tell everybody your story, how it came to your psychic awakening came to be, and any words of wisdom or advice that you can give to any of the people out there for whatever the reason may be, are either gifted and they don't want the gift, or they don't think they want the gift, or they know they got the gift but they don't know what to do with it. It could be probably be a lot of help to some people out there.
Well, I tell everybody all the time when it comes into this paranormal field, when you first get started, I tell everybody you always have a third eye. It's always there. And the minute you start going into the field, you're going to develop your gift more and more because you're being more open to the spirits. Then you're going to start seeing and feeling and hearing things more than other people. You're going to start recognizing things. If you don't feel like dealing with your gift, if you're too scared, my best advice is don't think about it. That's what I do. If you don't want to interact with it, turn it off by not thinking of it. Go do your investigation and just walk in, and don't even think in the back of your head that you have a gift if you can't handle it. And I understand that, because sometimes having a gift like this, it's like playing with a Ouija board. It can be very scary. It can be not at times, but you have to understand how to handle it, and be very careful, especially when you're near a portal or any like that of the sort. But if you need help and you want to understand about your gift, I'd be more happy to help you through that. I have no problem. It took me a long time to understand mine and where I stand in the paranormal field, and I finally understand what I need to do. And let me tell you, it helps. It helps understand, somebody to teach you. I would suggest take classes if you want to understand your gift. But if, like I said, if you don't want to handle your gift and you're too scared, don't be scared, because the more you're scared and you go through this paranormal investigation, and it's going to draw more spirits to you because they can feed off that fear. And you got to be very careful. So my advice is to go to somebody to teach you, to understand the steps. Don't open it up until you know everything about it, because it could be very tricky and it could get you into a lot of trouble.
Absolutely. I am on the side of the fence that I agree with you 100%. We all, to a certain degree, have that gift. Some
Mm-hmm.
people stronger than others. But I think if you are suspecting that you do and are scared, I almost want to advise, like for me, I spent probably 20 years of my life in the closet with having that gift of being able to see spirit, because I didn't want people thinking I was crazier than they already thought I was. And,
Right.
I wanted to have friends and stuff. So I kind of hid that. I wish I hadn't, because maybe I would be even more, uh, be able to harness and
Mm-hmm.
use the gift better than I'm able to now. I think if you are more knowledgeable about the gift
Mm-hmm.
and work with it, if you choose to then turn it off, I think you have more knowledge towards being able to turn it off
Mm-hmm.
than not. Because a lot of these people, I said, well, I tried to ignore it, Shawn, and the spirits just keep coming. So, and I know what that's all about. You look different. Having the gift you do, you look
Right.
different to spirit. And
Yes.
it's like that light, that mosquito light on the back porch. It
Yep.
attracts them. So I think that to have more knowledge about how to turn your skill on and off uh, is a good way to go too. You mentioned
Mm-hmm.
Ouija boards. What do you think of Ouija boards?
Well, as you can see, I'm a huge collector. I can't help it. I've always been like that as a child. I do admit playing with them, but I've learned my lesson on that. If you can use the Ouija board as a tool, I was taught that. But there's a certain way to do it. So this way you're not drawing anything in that you don't want. If you don't know what you're doing with a board, do not touch it. I advise you, please do not touch it. Um, my advice on Ouija boards: don't play with them. Simple as that. They can be a very dangerous game if you don't know the background or the history of a Ouija board. And I mean history where there's books this thick on them, which I have. Um, but if you're willing to try it for a team, that's one thing. But I advise you not to play with it by yourself. Don't play with it in your home. Definitely don't play with it in your home. Um, but if you are a collector like I am, as you can see, I would suggest put stones and sage it first before entering the house, because you just never know what's attached to the board. Put like salt or anything that's protected next to the Ouija board, so this way, if there is anything on the board, now it's just trapped there, it doesn't bother you. But please, my advice is from experience, do not play with a Ouija board in the house ever, especially investigating in your own home. It's not worth it. Unless you really want a spirit, just like a movie, then you're stuck. I don't know what else to tell you. So that's my advice. So
Well, that's
that's
good
my
advice.
question. Yeah,
That's good.
yeah,
I
you're
don't.
welcome.
I don't judge. I personally, there was a time where I used them a lot, and then I had a very bad experience, and I don't use them
See?
since. But
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you 100%. It's not a really. Everybody thinks it's a play toy, and it's not a play toy.
No,
But I have these people that call me up and say, oh, I had a really bad experience with the Ouija board, and I just took it out in the backyard and I burned it up. Here again,
as
I'm on the fence on if that's good or bad.
it,
I don't know how I feel about that. What do you think when somebody's had a bad, like I've personally have bound several Ouija boards and they're still here in the house, but they're bound and they're put away.
yeah,
What do you
it's
think
fine.
about that?
That's if they're bound, and if they're in a case with salt, and make sure that that spirit is trapped. To me, that's okay. But oh my God, do not ever burn a Ouija board, because it's just gonna come back at you, and it's even gonna be more worse than it already is. I've
Wow,
heard horror stories on that, and I would not. Don't throw it in the water. Do not get rid of it. Just, if my advice for why I've heard, bring it to a church and let them take care of it.
that's a great
So
advice. Yeah, that's great
yeah.
advice. Okay, I want to know when you realized you were gifted, and then when how you came to the decision. Well, I probably should work with this. When did you realize you were so passionate about the paranormal?
You know, like I tell everybody, I've been into it ever since I was little, only because I was seeing weird things. I was experiencing certain things that other people didn't, and I would go to them as a child and be like, why am I seeing these things? And nobody would give me an answer. So after high school, I got more into it, because when you get older, you develop more and see more. And I'm like, okay, I had enough. What's going on? So after that, um, I really got into it. I did watch TV and got and learned a little bit from that, which is not really worth it. But anyway, um, so after that, I got into it, and I just had a passion for it. And ever since then, that's how I realized I had a gift, because I said, why am I seeing things more and getting messages from all these things, and nobody is understanding it? And then when I went to a teacher, she said, you're a natural. I was like, excuse me? And she said, you don't need cards, you don't need class, you just a gifted born natural medium. And I said, what's funny is, because from my mother's side, her sister had it and my mom knew about it, but she wasn't really, fond of it. I think she was a little bit more scared personally for me, because she knew how gifted I was going to be. So she kind of kept that away from me. But sorry to say, it kind of didn't work that way. But not for nothing, I am very grateful and blessed to have this gift, because I have helped so many paranormal teams with cases. I can just be on the webcam and help them through and see what's there, and they can't believe what I'm able to pick up, and help people deliver messages that I can't believe that I'm able to do. So I've been into the field a very long time, and I'm happy I am, because I've helped so many people along the way with that.
Is are you best when you're in your own bubble and in your own environment, or are you able to astral project?
I can do it whatever.
Really
Once
good.
in yes, I don't have to be here. It can be I can be at a store, I can be outside, I can be at somebody else's house. It's weird. I know it sounds crazy, but it's just how it happens, and it's like if the spirit is very strong with the person, it will if I turn it on, I will be able to pick it up. So that's why I have to constantly keep it off because once I turn it on, it's like it can get very annoying
Yeah.
sometimes. So yeah.
Well, you work with several teams. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you're a legend before your time.
Yep.
Talk to me about so I know lots of teams that won't investigate with a psychic. I think that's silly. I think a truly gifted I can count them on both hands, the truly gifted psychics I know. But there's so many frauds out there. But
Ah,
I
tell me
think
about
if
it.
you know a truly gifted psychic, they're like another tool. It's like my wife is very psychically sensitive, and because she's the survivor of an extreme demonic attack, I don't take her on many cases anymore because that's
Right.
pretty much the only type of case I work anymore. But back in the day when we did a lot of paranormal investigations and went out to help people with just some disembodied spirits they had in their home,
Mm.
I would take her, and it was invaluable to have her there because I don't think we would have been able to bring closure to any of those cases if I didn't have her there. So I think that's important. Um, but many psychics don't want to work on a team, and many teams don't want to work with a psychic. How did that all? How did you marry your gift with the paranormal investigating?
Um, you know what? To be honest with you, I really don't know. Every time when I'm near people or entering a room, they said that they feel like I'm an angel. It's just the way my energy comes across, and they said my energy is really is amazing, and that's the only way I can describe that. I just have this weird connection with people, and they just love my energy. That's the best way I can answer that.
Well, I keep every you keep saying some things, and I keep getting blasted with the cold air here. And the reason why I keep looking up here is I'm looking at my dream catcher, which usually will spin and start rocking, and it really
Right.
hasn't been very active.
Hmm.
Um, my wife and I have really been. We're in a home that was built in like the late 70s, and it's we moved in here with three mastiffs. When they all went to heaven, we bought two more mastiffs. We have one left now. Needless to say, the home's being held together. It was a fix 'em upper when we moved in, and we never did any fix 'em upper because we realized there was spirit here when
Right.
we, you know, um, and the house is basically being held together by duct tape, a lot of duct tape. We were really thinking about finally biting the bullet and like doing roof work and some siding and painting and other stuff. Are you able to pick up on if that's we haven't to this time 20 years we've been in this home because up to now every time we tried to do something like that things got weirder than they already were. Are you
Mm-hmm.
able to pick up on well it moved a little bit now that we're talking about it.
Right. And your candle
um
is flickering on the other side.
are you picking up anything on do you think if we should just leave well enough alone. We're probably going to be here until um my wife and I both go on to heaven. So
Oh,
we don't have any intentions on selling the home or anything. And that's weird with spirit. The longer you're around spirit, they are I'm not going to say a healthy attachment because sometimes they can not even realize they're zapping your energy. They don't mean to do it, but
right.
we get a lot of that, so we have to be very careful. But
Mm-hmm.
we're as attached to them as they are to us. I know I have a spidey sense that goes up when something malevolent is doing a drive by, and I need to take care of that. But for the most part, they're disembodied human spirits that come and go. Some are attached, some are just in visitation, some just passing through. But what are you picking up on anything as to if it is a good idea or a bad idea for us to go into this major um, fixing
Well,
up of the place.
I'll tell you this for what I know when it comes to that is when you do major construction, redoing a project like that on a house, it will stir up the activity. It will get mad. I'm There's nothing you can do about it because you're touching their house. So they're going to get very upset with you because they don't want you touching what they knew before they passed away. So that's up to you if you want to do something like that. Go with your gut and feel like, okay, is this a good idea? Is it a bad idea? If you're becoming too nervous about it, I would suggest leave it alone. But if you feel like you need to definitely do it and you're comfortable with doing it, I would let the spirit know what you're doing. So this way you're not pissing off the spirit.
Have a spiritual family meeting.
Well,
My
this
wife,
let
my dog, and I, and them, and tell them what we plan on doing,
mm,
and say, we've owned this house for 20 years and we haven't done
right.
anything, but now we're going to do this and do this and do this because we feel it would benefit this and this and this, and we want everybody on board here. You know, don't
Yeah.
make me or any friends of mine have to come over and send you somewhere you don't want to go.
Well,
So let's get along.
yeah, just let whoever it is to say, listen, like you can stay here, but you have to understand this is my house, not yours anymore. You don't have control. That's you gotta show not violently, hopefully, just in a nice way. Just let them know that this is what's gonna happen, and you're more welcome to stay here. And this is my house, not yours. They have no control over that.
Okay, let's talk about ghost hunting. Do you like people just calling? Do you like just going out to help people when a team calls you and says they need your help with a case, or someone calls you personally, or do you when you're not doing that, do you in general like to go out and go to some of the alleged haunted places and walk around and
Yes.
investigate? Do you like doing that stuff?
Very much so. I've been to a lot of places. I've been to millions of cases because I know it's my calling. So if there's a person in need that needs my gift and help, I'm all there for it. But if it's negative, don't mean to say the word demon wise or anything of the sort, I would not do it. Only the matter of fact is I would not be able to even walk into the room if it's thick or very negative air. So, but besides that, I do try my best to enjoy and go out and help people and go to these haunted locations and cross them off my list, which I have.
Give me, in your humble opinion, the biggest for someone like you with your gifts that is passionate about the paranormal and ghost hunting and investigating and working with teams. Give me a big don't, something that you should never do, and then give me a big you really, if you want to be successful, you really got to do this.
The big don't when it comes to paranormal, with my experience, the number one rule I was taught: do not invoke. I've seen people do it. I understand why they're doing it, but then again, then they cry later because they're being attacked, they're being followed home, and then we have to go out and fix it. So please do not invoke spirits. There's a reason behind that because when you're walking into a place or abandoned place, you do not know what you're walking through or what kind of spirit you're getting because you could get a human spirit, evil spirit, anything of the sort, and then you're stuck. So, with my advice is be careful when you're going through these paranormal investigations. Just be careful what you do and make sure you're in full knowledge before doing anything. Because some of these places can be very dangerous and very challenging, especially when you're gifted. It will drain you dry.
Absolutely. Do you got a big number one to have must do to have success?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What
Make
about
sure
you?
you know what you're
You have
doing
one?
every step of the way.
What is something that you make sure you always do before you go into an investigation that helps you?
Well, make sure that you shield yourself, layered, layered. Um, Make sure you put on protection, what you believe in. It doesn't have to be um, pentagram or anything of the sort. It can be a spirit animal. It can be a symbol of something that you think in your heart it will protect you, and that's what's going to help you get through a investigation. Um, Rocks, stones, is very important as well. You can have them in your
Now
pocket.
I hear you say that. What do you use those for? And are they special?
Yep. Like, this is my protection. This is very special. It helps me ground, heal. I keep this here because when I do my shows, I drain. Only the matter is there. I'm the type of person that's able to pick up whatever the other person has through the screen. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it's true. I have to have something with me, or the next day I feel like I hit by a truck. So, so when I say stones, but pick what you feel first. Just don't pick anything out of the patch, because then there's so many stones out there that it'll make you feel sick. Um, I don't use quartz because it opens me up too much towards the supernatural. So make sure you're knowing what you're picking before you bring it to the investigation, because it can draw more spirits that you don't want, and then you'll suffer later for it.
Well said. Excellent,
Thank
excellent
you.
advice. Um, Before we run out of time, I want to make sure that everything that you want to talk about and everything you want people to know about you, that you get out there. I know that you currently have a show that's popular.
Yep.
You have another one coming up in a couple of weeks, and then you have a bunch of Facebook pages. Go through the whole list for everybody.
Well, I'll do this as fast as possible.
Hey, take your time. We still got about. I'm going to bring on my tonight. I'm bringing on my co-producer a few minutes early. He has some
Okay.
things he wants to share with everybody, but we still got a good 5 minutes.
Okay, so here we go. Message from the Afterlife is my broadcast. It's for the paranormal. Does it have to be for the paranormal? It could be for witches, monsters, Bigfoot, UFOs. It can be just a random person that's out there trying to get evidence on the paranormal and wants to be recognized. I am here to help people who need a home and feel respected, loved, treated fairly like everybody else, and show the world what they can do. Doesn't matter if you're an investigator, medium, witch are more welcome with their gifts as well, because I think people should have a fair game into what they do, because in this life it's not easy. Um, so I just joined a team, and I have a show in 2 weeks coming up. I'm going to be a host doing live readings. They are helping me with two other fabulous, gifted ladies in Light and Souls Paranormal. And I just joined them this week, and they were very impressed with my gift. I have some events coming up, and I'm actually going to be in a Bigfoot event, which I'm very excited about.
That's cool.
It's in April, so I'm very excited to. He's happy to have me, so I'm happy about that. I'm actually going to be a host on a show in April. That's going to be every Thursday. I'm going to post that. Um, so I'm very busy. I'm trying to think of
Absolutely.
all these things and try to put them
Where's the
all in
best
one.
place to somebody? Where's one stop shopping everything Anna Marguerite if somebody wants to know what's going on in her life in the paranormal field and psychic medium under the psychic medium umbrella and paranormal community? Where should they go? If it was one place to go and find out all there is to find out about you.
My main page, only because down by the bio, you can click on everything that I'm in. It has all my pages, the Spell Candle Shop, and a spiritual message. That's where you can find me on my spiritual readings if you want to connect with the other side. Anything about my teams, a message from the afterlife is on there as well. Don't be afraid or don't hesitate if you want that reading or you want to get connected with that special someone. I'll be happy to do so.
Is there any particular team you would like to give a shout out to?
Yes, I would love to give a shout out actually to two groups. One is Enlightened Souls Paranormal. Thank you, Mark, and Shawn for giving me the honor of being on your team. It's a great group, and they make you feel loved and supportive, and they're there for everybody. And also, I want to give a shout out to Matt, to the P3 Paranormal Group, for helping me get through my radio broadcast, and everybody that's on there as well.
That is so cool. I knew I would enjoy meeting you. I love you and respect you. You're cool.
Thank
You've got a
you.
good soul. You've got a good
Thank you.
spirit about you, and sky's the limit for you. You can reach out to me anytime for anything if you need it.
You
And
as well.
did you have fun? Will you come back?
Oh, you made it very comfortable. It was a wonderful show. I enjoyed myself, and it was a blast, and I was honored to be here. Thank you.
It was my pleasure. And who knows, we may work a case together one day. You never know.
You know what? Just let me know if you need that help. I'm more than happy to help you.
I work with everybody. I'm an old fart. I'm 63. I work with people 20 years older than me. I work with people 30 years younger than me. I work people in my age group, and I don't judge. I know that everybody comes from a different walk of life,
Yeah.
many different religious belief systems, but if everybody is full of love and light, and whatever their particular Holy Spirit is, if they're full of that and they respect other people and they're very
Mhm.
accepting and non-judgmental, that's what's going to make our field grow
Better.
and
Yes.
be healthy and move on in a healthy
Mhm.
way, because there's a lot of drama in our field too, which is weird.
Yes, sadly to say. So that's why I made my radio broadcast, because I want people to understand it doesn't have to do with hate, it doesn't have to do with drama. It goes to show respect on work, what you do. Who doesn't have the right evidence? Who don't worry about that. Worry about yourself and what you do and how hard it is, because it's not easy getting out there. It really isn't. And that's
Oh, it's
why I
not.
want you to feel like you have somewhere to go.
You're on my prayer list. Have a wonderful remainder to your Monday evening. Thank you so much for being here. I can just feel the love that everybody um, enjoyed you being here tonight. And I'll be in touch.
I hope so. I will have you on my show as well, and we'll have to set a
Got
date.
it. Okay. You have a great evening. I'll see you later. God bless
All
you.
right. Thank you. Bye,
Bye bye.
guys.
She's cool. Anna Marguerite. I'm going to butcher her last name again, so I'm not going to say it. That was fun. Wasn't that fun? I got her to talk about some Bigfoot stuff. I didn't see that coming. I'm going to bring Zach on for a few minutes to make sure is there anything he wants to tell people, he gets it out there.
I'm here.
You're so pretty tonight.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's the gray glistening in my beard.
Anna was prettier, but you're pretty too.
Well, yeah, but that's you can put lipstick on a turd, right? So, and that's kind of what happened. Hey, I did want to give a real quick update. I got a hold of Susan, and she wants everybody to know she's doing well. It was a
Yay.
successful surgery, and I asked her if it was okay if I updated people, and she said, "Everyone but Shawn, don't tell him."
Well, I was just about to say that's how you know she loves you, because I've already sent her a couple of messages asking how she's doing. Nothing, but of course she gets back to you.
And Jeremy's surgery did well too.
And Jeremy, the owner or the founder of Things, he is also recovering from his eye surgery. So
Yeah.
we've got a couple people in the field that are doing well, and a lot of good things coming up. So, and we just wanted to say that here coming up on Community Pay It Forward and PAC Channel, we have a lot of different things coming up. We're going to replay the second segment on Friday of the 22-hour podcast on Friday, which was just fantastic, except for it was like mainly me. So it was a lot of me talking on that one. But and then we are continuing to take donations for all 9 of the organizations that we were raising money for. If you simply go to our website, communitypayitforward.us, you will find the donate here button, and those donations will go in between all of the 9 organizations. But we're just always looking to try to help people. If anybody needs any help out there, contact us, and we can see what we can do to help you out. You don't have to be a nonprofit for us to raise money for you. You just have to be doing good. So give us a call. Just go to communitypayitforward.us.
Very cool. Very cool, brother.
And keep your fingers crossed for everybody. And as I like to always tell people, you know what? Every single one of us, cold, extreme heat hurts or kills us. Hunger kills us. So if you've got an extra hoodie in your vehicle, throw it in there. Give it to somebody struggling with the weather. Wife makes too much food. Throw it in. I love calling it the old hillbilly Tupperware. Throw it in the old butter bowl. Take it, microwave it, give it to somebody who needs a little bit of nourishment, because, we're all we got. We need to help each other through all of this mess, and none of us are much different. So,
well said, brother. Well said, and thank you for what you do for me. I wouldn't have a show without you and Adrian. So thank you both.
Oh, you'd have a show. I just hate to see what it looks like.
It wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good. So give her a big hug and a kiss for me, and I will go ahead and say goodbye to my peeps.
Sounds good. Bye now.
What do we got going on here? Okay, well, we're entering what I call the 3 weeks of St. Patrick. We're going to Ireland this Friday the 10th. Mr. Steve Lally, live from Ireland, aka the Storyteller. He just plethora of knowledge when it comes to Celtic folklore, history, Irish hauntings, all of that good stuff. He's a professional storyteller. So he'll be here in honor of St. Patrick's Day this Friday the 10th. And then we'll talk about who's going to be here the following Friday on St. Patrick's Day as we get closer to there. And then we're going back to Ireland again the following Friday after that. So the next 3 weeks on Friday is going to be very Irish. So that'll be this Friday the 10th. We're going to Ireland. Get your passports ready. CommunityPayItForward.us. You heard Zach talk about it. Go there. Shop. Every time you shop there, it helps somebody out. So that's CommunityPayItForward. The church I belong to, usocc.org. usocc.org. If you're interested in knowing a little bit about my church, go there. Who couldn't use a little more God in their life? If you're interested in Bible study, which is every Wednesday and Sunday afternoon at 5 p.m. Pacific, or night prayer, which is every weeknight, Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific, go to bishopjameslong.com. Scroll down to the bottom of his homepage. Both links to both of those are there. And again, who couldn't use a little more God in their life? Thank you to Zach and Adrian Clayton, my co-producers. I've been poking Adrian a little bit, seeing if maybe I can get her on after she does a couple of really big events she's got coming up. So I might be able to get her on here in a couple of months. Other than that, thank you to Things Network. Thank you to Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment. Thank you to Pact, little P, capital ACT, Podcasting for All Coming Together channel, and Skeleton Key Network. All of those networks, thank you for simulcasting my show. Also, BeInspiredRadio.net. BeInspiredRadio.net. Chicky Hot, the rock psychic. That's her radio network. She re-airs episodes of my show all day long on Saturdays. And there's a lot of other cool stuff there on her network, like a lot of old classic replays of the old Art Bell show. So that's really, really cool. But there's a lot of great shows on there. And so go there and check that out. Bad joke time. I'm going to pull a bad joke that one of you sent in out of this haunted carnival Barker hat. And it's my poor attempt to put a smile on everybody's face before I say goodnight. I ordered a chicken and an egg online. I'll let you know which one comes first. Good night, Danny. Good night, Jack. Good night, Dog. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. I love you all. God bless you all. Peace.